George Ham Cannon, USMC, November 5, 1915 – December 7, 1941 was the first United States Marine in World War II to receive the nation's highest military award, the Medal of Honor. George Ham Cannon was born on November 5, 1915, in Webster Groves, Missouri. He later moved to Detroit, Michigan, where he graduated from Southeastern High School. He also attended the Culver Military Academy in Culver, Indiana, prior to entering the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. While in attendance at that university, he was a member of the Reserve Officers Training Corps, and graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering in June 1938. He was commissioned as second lieutenant in the Engineer Reserve, U.S. Army during his last year in the University of Michigan. While at the University of Michigan, he became a member of the Sigma Chi fraternity. He resigned his commission in the Army upon graduation, in order to accept a commission as second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps. Commissioned on June 25, 1938, he was ordered to duty on July 5, 1938, at the Philadelphia Navy Yard to await assignment to the next class of basic school. He began studies on July 18 that year. His first tour of duty as a U.S. Marine was on board the USS Boise, following the completion of his schooling May 20, 1939. He was assigned to the Post-Service Battalion at the Marine Barracks, Quantico, Virginia, on July 10, 1940, and 2 weeks later entered the Base Defense Weapons course at the Marine Corps Schools. Ordered to the Marine Corps Base in San Diego, California, in December 1940, he joined Battery H, 2D Defense Battalion on February 16, 1941. In March 1941, the battery joined the 6th Defense Battalion, and in July the unit sailed for Pearl Harbor. In August 1941, he was promoted to first lieutenant with the rank dating back to from June 25, 1941. On September 7, 1941, 1 STLT. Cannon reported to Midway Island as a platoon leader and member of the battalion coding board. He was killed in action on the same day the Japanese drew the United States into World War II, December 7, 1941, during the sneak attack by Japanese forces. After his burial on Midway, his remains were then removed to Halawa Cemetery in Hawaii, and from there to the Honolulu Memorial Cemetery Punchbowl, where he is permanently interred. Cannon also has a cenotaph in his parents' burial plot in Glen Cove Cemetery in Knightstown, Indiana. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Congressional Medal of Honor posthumously to First Lieutenant George H. Cannon, United States Marine Corps, for service during an attack on the United States fleet in Midway Islands, as set forth in the following citation: for distinguished conduct in the line of his profession, extraordinary courage, and disregard of his own condition during the bombardment of Sand Island, Midway Islands, by Japanese forces on December 7, 1941. Lieutenant Cannon, Battery Commander of Battery H, 6th Defense Battalion, Fleet Marine Force, U.S. Marine Corps, was at his command post when he was mortally wounded by enemy shell fire. He refused to be evacuated from his post until after his men, who had been wounded by the same shell, were evacuated, and directed the reorganization of his command post until forcibly removed, and as a result of his utter disregard of his own condition he died from loss of blood.